Welcome back to the channel where we're fixing instead of financing an older truck. Now today, we're going to be doing an oil change with Valvoline Restore and Protect. This comes highly recommended by a lot of people. I want to try it out myself. The truck has close to 200,000 kilometers and maybe a bit of restoration, a bit of protection won't hurt. So let's get at it. Let's change this oil. The first step in any video featuring Restore and Protect seems to be to get a camera and check inside the engine and all that. We know, we've seen the videos, the stuff works, but I want to try it for myself. What we are going to do is take a look at the dipstick, check the color of it, and also check the oil fill cap. We'll see what they look like now. We'll see what they look like at the next oil change to see what Restore and Protect has done. Now, Restore and Protect is known for clearing up sticky piston rings. Not an issue for me at the moment, but hey, I'd rather protect and preserve than try to fix something later. So let's take a look at that dipstick and let's take a look at that oil fill cap. Now, the oil fill cap is black plastic, but you can actually see sort of has a brownish tinge to it. Let me wipe the oil off. We can take a look at the actual color. So if we look inside the cap, it has sort of a brownish tinge to it, nothing too severe. And the dipstick, well, we're not going to see much on it because it's perfectly clean. Apparently this engine has been well maintained before I got it, and I maintain it well as well. So, do I need to Restore and Protect? Probably not, but stick around. Learn how to do an oil change. If you've never done an oil change before in your life, it's easy to do. It is something you can do yourself. Let's get under the truck and start changing the oil. In my case, with a 300 cubic inch inline six, 4.9 liter, I have a 5/8 plug here. While I'm under here, I'm going to check the oil pan. I'm going to check anywhere for leaks that I haven't seen before. My oil pan is nice and dry, as you can see. Probably needs a bit of rust proofing. We'll take care of that eventually. But in the meantime, let's get that drain plug off and drain the oil. Having a suitable receptacle for the oil that I've got here, I'll show you in a few minutes what it looks like once the oil drains down. And also, these drain plugs are magnetic. So if you want to take an oil sample, this is when you would do it, by the way. But this is a magnetic drain plug, and there's no metal sticking to the end of it. So that's a really good thing. Now you can use a paper towel to wipe it off, and then check the paper towel for metal residue. There is no metal residue. And by the way, yes, the oil is warm. The truck was up to temp before I drained the oil out of it. That way, we're sure that we have a nice, easy flowing oil. And I like to let it drain for a few minutes before attacking the oil filter. The oil filter in this case is on the other side of the engine, and I'll have to reposition the camera for that, but you'll be able to see it. Super easy to get to. While we're waiting for that oil to drain though, we can check out the differential, U-joints, everything under here at the front end that is susceptible to wear that we can inspect. Like I can see that the radius arm bushing on the other side needs to be replaced. That's a future video. Other things, these U-joints, basically inspect them for movement and take a look to see if they have a greasing nipple on them. I don't see one on this one, unfortunately. But if it were a greasable fitting, I would grease it. There's a U-joint here coming out of the front differential. And it doesn't seem to have a greasing nipple on it either, unfortunately. So no greasing there. Check your ball joints out. Check all of that out while that oil is still dripping down. And that oil continues to drip. Well, it's just off camera here. Let me bring it back. So you can see just a very, very faint line of oil coming down. Now, since my oil was nicely warmed up, it is going to drain a lot better out of the pan, and you're going to get that nice fine line. If the oil was a little warmer, what would happen is it would come down in drips instead of that very, very fine line. I don't know if you can even see the line on camera there. Maybe. We'll be patient. We'll let that go down. And also, my transmission is nice and dry, meaning that I don't have a rear main seal leak. Always a good thing. So this engine is nice and dry despite its mileage. Now there's a bit of oil residue here. That's from the power steering system. I know it's leaking, so we'll take care of that in a future date. The bushings for the TTB, well, they need changing too. So would you like to see a future video where I completely redo the suspension? So all the bushings, ball joints, the whole front end. I think it wouldn't hurt the truck personally to do that. And it's always something I've wanted to do. So if it's something you'd like to see, let me know. Now I just have a very fine drip once in a while coming from the pan. So let's wipe that clean. Still dripping a little bit. While we're here, we'll also inspect the seal, the brass crush washer here. Seems to be very good, so no need to change it. Have any doubts, change it. Let's put this plug back in. Want to make sure you do not cross-thread the plug. That would not be a good day. Take our wrench. Let's tighten it to the appropriate torque. And no, I've never used a torque wrench on these. It's just nice and tight. There we go. It's repositioned. Find that oil filter, and we'll be back in a second. There's the oil filter up there. Now, to remove it, counterclockwise, obviously. And I have these fancy little pliers here that self-adjust for every different size. Get them on here. And start loosening. After a turn or two, you should be able to reach up and get it by hand. We'll let it leak down just a little bit. Just had to move my oil catch basin, just happens to be what the camera is on. So sorry about the erratic movement there. So now it's just dripping lightly. Unscrew it a little bit more. Let it drain down. Back to slow drips. And there we have the oil filter off. I'm going to take a bit of the used oil off of the filter. I put a bit of oil on the seal here. Always want to make sure that the oil seal came off with the filter. I'll be using a Fram Ultra Synthetic XG8A. It's the one that was available to me locally. And because of the camera and all that, I can't really see what I'm doing. Let's go by feel here. There we go. Your filter should just spin on rather easily. And then when it touches, let me get the old filter here. You'll find a pictogram on the filter. So fill it with oil, which in our case we can't because it's a side mounted one. But from there, once it touches, you go 3/4 to 1 turn extra. So in my case, it touches there. That's 3/4 of the way around. That's as tight as I can get it. So we'll leave it there. Now, let's go fill the oil up from the top. Now it's time to pour in the Restore and Protect. Open it up. And no, I'm not going to be a hotshot. I am going to get a funnel back in a second. Of course, the funnel doesn't quite fit. It's always that way. They're either too big or too small, but we'll make it work. Now this engine has a capacity of 6 quarts or 5.7 liters. Of course, they sell these jugs in 5-liter jugs. So I'll be pouring one in, starting the engine up, checking for leaks, and then checking my oil level and topping it up. The reason I do that is I never want to overfill. And with the dipstick, you're able to gauge how much oil you need to put in. But I know that the first 5 liters will go in without a problem. So that one we can put in. And since I drive this truck summer and winter, actually my kids drive it in the winter, I'm hopefully going to be leaving for Florida soon, so I won't be here, but they drive it in the winter. That's why I'm putting 5W30 in. This engine actually calls for 530 or 1030. And the 530 is easier to start in the winter, so that's why I went with 530. I'll actually let those last little drops drip back in here. Oil fill cap is back on. Dipstick back in its tube. Take a quick look underneath the vehicle before starting it up, making sure that there's no leaks. You never know. Something could have gone wrong. You could have forgotten something, gotten a phone call, and got distracted. That way, you're double checking. You're not starting an engine without oil. So make sure there's no oil sitting under the engine. And if that's good, we'll start it up and then check the oil level. Start it up, runs great, and no oil leaks. So let's check the engine oil level, adjust the oil level, and we'll be done with an oil change. Just a little bit above the add mark, which means I need to add about half a liter, which is normal. So what you can do is leave it the way it is because it's between the add and full, meaning it has enough oil. I like to keep it at the full level, so I'm going to add it. Funnel back in, and one thing you may or may not have noticed, but on the back of your oil canister, there's normally a clear section for the plastic and little lines telling you where you are. So this side is quarts, this side is liters. That's the 4 liter mark. So I need to get down to about here. I hold it level. Now my oil level is there. I'm a little bit more than halfway above there. So let's give it another little plug. Give that oil a few seconds to reach the crankcase. Check the oil level again, and then we'll be good to go. Right at the full mark, perfect. And with that, we're good for another 5,000 kilometers or so. We don't drive the truck that much, so our oil basically ages out before it wears out. And I like to keep a 6-month oil change interval or 5,000 kilometers. In this case, we'll reach the 6 months way before we reach the 5,000 miles or 5,000 kilometers. And 5,000 kilometers is 3,000 miles. That might be a little excessive. We'll see. What I could do is get an oil change or an oil sample, like I mentioned in the beginning, and check that out. Now that I know the date of the oil change, etc., for me, it's easy in 6 months to take an oil sample, send it away, cost 40 bucks, and determine, is there a lot of life left in my oil or is there just a little bit of life left? And at that point, decide whether I do an oil change or not. Once you know that information, once you know that, yes, you can change that oil further down the line, or it is at this point, at that 5,000 mile or 6 month point, it's starting to wear, there are indications that it's time to change the oil from the oil analysis, then it's very easy to say, okay, I'm going to change the oil. But if the oil analysis comes back, and it normally takes about a week. So oil analysis comes back and they say, hey, this oil only has 20% wear or something like that, then I can make an informed decision as to, do I let that oil change go longer or not?
Here's my oil catch basin. Now, it's rather large for a pickup truck, but for the bus, it's actually quite close. So that's what we use here. The oil goes in. There is a pump to pump out the waste liquid, and that hose with the hook that's attached to the pump goes into a reservoir, and you just pump the liquid out, and it's good to go. So quite a handy little piece of kit. Vivor. This isn't a sponsored video, but there'll be a link below.
And with that, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below and join us for the next installation of fixing instead of financing an old truck.